Well, hi, it's Karen Sullivan, and I'm coming to you live just by the skin of my teeth. You know what happens with technology, and I will be leaving here as soon as I'm done with this live broadcast and go to the computer store and get the guys there to look at it and say, what the heck is going on? Anyway, that said, I am here to help you with learning about exercises. And the entire month of April, we have been doing different muscle groups, okay? We've covered all the muscle groups at this point. We still have to do abs, but I wanted to talk about the other muscle groups as relating to this frequency, intensity, and duration. And those are the ways that you look at a program when you're going to design it. You look at the client and then you choose your exercises based on how often you feel like they can do it, the intensity and the duration. So we're going to be talking about that today very briefly. It's not going to be a real long show, but this is really important to recognize so that you know that if you have a personal trainer and they've written a routine for you, this is the stuff that they're looking at, okay? So who am I? Karen Sullivan with lifehealthmore.net. And I am a 25 plus year veteran of personal training and fitness and exercise consultation, as well as independent Shaklee distributor. So what I do is help people to get on the path toward their wellness and wholeness. And in 2018, I decided that I'm going to take this year to try to reach out to as many people as possible, because I would like to have everybody become the very best version of themselves. That's my goal for this year. I want as many people to be as healthy as they can, have the supplementation they should, do the exercises they should, be their perfect weight. And so I am asking people to, this is your call to action, guys, share these with your friends. Share them on Facebook, share them in YouTube, let people know about the program that I have. This is all free stuff. This is my expertise that I've taken and put down on media. And so it's on the internet. I have written 2 books. They're both available on Amazon. One is The Zen of Weight Loss, which is also available in ebook version. And the second one, which is a companion journal, is called Your Perfect Food Plan. And it's a way to teach people to reflectively look at themselves and what they think about their bodies and what they think about the food, to understand how journaling works. It's a great little book, and it is not available in ebook because you have to write in it. So you'll see what it is. I think it was a marvelous tool. I'm glad I came up with it. And the reason why I did was every time I mentioned to somebody, well, have you been journaling? They looked at me like a deer caught in headlights. Okay. So that's why I wrote those books. Now I am using another medium with the internet and doing live broadcasts and videotaping them, because this is my life's work. This is my absolute passion to help people feel better, because while I do personal training for healthy people, I also do therapeutic work for people who are not well, whether they are ill, whether they've had a stroke or they have Parkinson's disease or struggle with the symptoms of MS. This is what I do. I want people to feel well. So spread the word, tag a friend in the comment section, share it on your Facebook homepage. Get the word out there. So this is something that I think is super important. We've talked about chest, we've talked about shoulders, we've talked about arms and back and legs. So I want to also talk today about when we're planning exercise. The 3 components that we look at as personal trainers are frequency, intensity, and duration. And you know, you didn't realize that this is a science. This is a science, okay? And so we're weighing how your body might respond and react, and the best way for you to get the best results is to make sure we have all of this stuff in line. This is a process. You know, life is a process. It's all about one thing building on another. So let's talk first about frequency. Frequency has to do with how many days that you're going to do an exercise routine. whether you are more of an advanced athlete and you've done more work and have built up to working 6 days a week or 7 days a week. That brings me to a little tiny cul-de-sac I'm going to take here about recovery. Remember, recovery is paramount to having a healthy routine, to getting the best benefits, is giving your body time to recover. Okay, so the duration or the frequency of how often you're going to work out. So a lot of people work out 3 days a week. It's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and trying to split it up so that you can get good recovery in between. Well, the thing also to remember about your frequency and how often you can do it is what the rest of your schedule is like. It's not only about how often you can get to the gym, but how often your schedule allows that you can get in the gym. And one way that I recommend you try to really get this to be on your schedule is to put it on your schedule. Write it in your calendar. Put it on your calendar. You know, get it. If it's on your phone, fine. If it's in your address book or calendar book, you know, day planner, write it and write it in ink so that you don't erase it, and put a client's appointment in there instead, because you're more important. You really are more important. If you don't feel well and if you aren't strong and vivacious and everything, you're not going to be able to cover the other aspects of your life either. So that's where the frequency comes in. And I always tell people, just be really cautious about what your commitment is, because if you go into it saying, I'm going to work out 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, I'm going to be there, you know, you're setting yourself up for failure. In the first place, 5 days a week initially is too much. You're going to hurt yourself. You're going to have aches and pains. You're going to be miserable, and you're not going to want to stay with it. So then you've defeated yourself before you even got started, okay? So be really careful about that. Now, the intensity with weightlifting is usually the number of reps and the number of sets that you're doing, okay? In running, it has to do with how quickly, how fast you're running, how long you're running. Well, that's duration. But the intensity is how fast you're working at it. And which path that you might take. Let's say you have one trail that you run that's pretty flat and easy going, and you have another one that's a lot of hills, up and down and up and down. That would be your intensity is more there. So it's like an easy run, a heavier run, or more involved run, and then really, really all out working it hard the whole way. Okay, on the third level. Excuse me. So ordinarily, I will say as a start for people to try to do fewer repetitions, because you don't want to hurt your joints. So you might do 10 to 12 reps and maybe initially only one set. It depends on what your age is. It depends on how long you've been a couch potato. If you ever lifted before, your body might do well initially, but you still have to be gentle and ease yourself into it. Again, why? Why should I be easy? Because you could get hurt if you try too much, too fast, too hard. You'll get hurt, and then you're on the bench again, okay? So, intensity, very cautious. Be cautious of that. Now the duration. Okay, so how long should I work out? Oh, I want to go for a 12-hour ride, or whatever. You see these long bike rides that people, and these marathons that people do. Take my hat off to you guys. You're awesome. But for those who have never done it before, I want you to know these people that do these endurance sports have worked for a long time to build up to the time that their body is going to have to work. If they went out and just tried to do a run, whether it was a half marathon or a full marathon, they would be so hurt that's just craziness, the thought of that. So that's what you have to do. You might not have a marathon at the end of the path, you know, you might not decide that that's for you, but regardless of what you're doing, you have to start your duration of time that you're working out slow, okay? You start with 20 minutes. Fit it into your schedule 3 days a week. Go for a walk in the neighborhood. Make sure you're out walking and moving for 20 minutes. Then you can step it up and go to the gym and try to hit it with 30 minutes, doing a treadmill or an elliptical or a stair stepper. Easy going, okay? Now, one of the things that I want to caution you about is as you are training and working out, remember that the duration and time that you're doing exercise should be limited to an hour. And that's come from the American College of Sports Medicine. And it actually came from my mentor, Jack Michaels, back in the 90s. And he was exercise physiologist. He was a professor at the College of William and Mary. And he worked with me and showed me the testing that they had done at William and Mary that showed the longer time period that someone was doing any particular exercise. And of course, for this test, they did running, okay, and they had them on a treadmill, and they showed that there was improvement over time in stamina, and they used the VO2 readings and the muscle strength. So there was improvement in the fitness for the person up to the hour point. And at the hour, it sort of flipped on itself, and the chance of injury started to rise while the increased and improved fitness level started to decline. So the injury started to go up. So see, what I'm saying is you limit it to an hour. And if you're interested in going longer periods of time and working more vigilantly, I know people that split their workout. They'll go in the morning, and wouldn't that be delightful? You go in the morning and you do perhaps a warm up and do your weightlifting, and then you go home and you spend the day. You make sure you eat, your body recovers, you work in the office, and then you go home after work and you go for a run in your neighborhood. And that's good that it's split up, the body's recovered, and you're okay, and your injury just, the chance of injury goes down, okay? So the thing that's always really, really important, as I mentioned earlier on, is the recovery. And your body will adapt to the stress when you give it the opportunity to, okay? So it builds muscle. I remember when we were bodybuilding, me and the mouse in my pocket, but when we were bodybuilding, younger, and all my friends, we always had to make sure that the body was really almost brutalized with the lifting, which I would not do that to a client now, but I did it to myself before. But you would work really, really hard, lift really heavy, and do the frequency was really up there, and the intensity was really up there. And when you did that, there are two schools of thoughts. One is that you have actually torn the muscle and gotten micro tears in it, and then you have to recover to allow the muscle to knit and build stronger. The other thing is that additional fibers are built. Wait a minute, if I have that right. It's been so long since I talked about bodybuilding. So yes, one is that you are actually tearing down and destroying it, and the other is that the body realizes that it's going to need to reinforce the muscle, and so it builds more muscle. So, there's testing and everything on both sides of that argument, and the bottom line is they both agree that recovery is really important. Now, that's especially important for us who are just normal people that are trying to be healthy and strong, okay? So that you want to have everything repaired. Also, if you don't remember this biggest thing, okay, you have to have balance in your life. You have to have good nutrition. Okay, and that's where you can call me at lifehealthmore.myshackley.com and ask about the nutritional supplementation. And I recommend you take the health print that is at that website, lifehealthmore.myshackley.com. And I'll put it in the comments here after I'm done here. But really, guys, you want to make sure that you're spending time. Last month, I talked about just all the all the parts that make up a holistic wellness in our lives. So really go look at those things too. Also, they're available on YouTube. But keeping that balance, making sure you're having time in nature, time with family, time to maybe garden, time to do your work and to do your work well, and making sure you're sleeping, you're meditating, doing some sort of spiritual practice to get in touch with the part of us that is connected to something greater than us. Those things are all super duper duper important, and they are going to help you to become the very best version of yourself. As my partner, my business partner and cousin says, you have to find your happy. Absolutely. And if you can't do that with whatever it is you're doing, you need to take a look at trying to round things out and treat yourself with a lot of love and a lot of care. Okay? If you have any questions, please put them below in the comments. I will get back to them, and I will be glad to see you hopefully next week. It's every Monday and every Thursday at 2 p.m. So I hopefully fix my computer, get this technical glitch out of the way, and I'll see you then on Monday. Thanks, and be well.